Did you know that playing on a dirty mousepad can impact your aim negatively? And the best part is, you don't even know that your mousepad's dirty? Now you might be sitting there asking yourself, but Bacon, no, this can't be true, alright? Like, I'm sitting here in front of my PC, I'm watching your shitty video, you know, my mousepad's alright, it's got all the four corners, you know, it's not ripped, there's no mayonnaise on it, like, what are you talking about? Well, you see, it's not really what's on the mousepad that matters, it's what's inside the mousepad that matters. And now what is inside? Well, it's grease, it's sweat, it's dandruff, it's dried up mayo, you know, that's been there for years, you know, a bunch of millions of voices, unheard of, silence, dead until the end of time, you know, shit like that. This intro has been going on long enough, so I'm just gonna get to the point and show you how to fucking clean the thing. Alright, let's fucking go. Roll intro. I don't know fucking how to roll it! Believe it or not, cleaning a mousepad isn't as simple as you think. It's like on the same par as rocket science, alright? After all, your mousepad is the surface where you will be doing most of your aiming on. I hope. Like, if you go on YouTube and just type in how to clean your mousepad, you'll find a bunch of videos that are all quite similar. You know, they just say throw your mousepad into the tub, soap, water, wash it, let it dry. But there are certain things you have to watch out for. For example, like what soap you use, what you use to scrub the mousepad with, and how you even hang it up to dry. Now let's start with the most important thing. You gotta get the right soap. And it can't just be any soap. It has to be a very specific soap called curd soap. You want to get curd soap because it's the least aggressive soap you can buy, and it also doesn't have a bunch of bullshit like oil in it. Oil will just, you know, like ruin your mousepad to a certain extent if you get too much in there. Soap that contains oil is also really hard to wash out of your mousepad because the oil just really holds everything back, and you're gonna need to go several times over it. I have a good example of what I mean, and I'll show you this later in the video, so stay tuned. Another thing you should avoid is sodium lauryl sulfate. That stuff's like really nasty, even for your skin, so I advise not using that in general, so yeah. Like if you don't have curd soap and you really don't want to get curd soap, I don't know, I guess you could use some mild hand soap if it doesn't like have any like sodium lauryl sulfate. But you know, oil, yeah, it's just gonna take longer to clean. But that's just like a handy tip, you know, you can use that. But I really do recommend getting the curd soap. It's a lot better and a lot faster. You can see the ingredients here for the curd soap, and as you can see, there's like no sodium lauryl sulfate or oils, and curd soap is in general also quite cheap, and I got this 3-pack I think for $1.50. Make sure to do some cool butterfly knife tricks on your way to cashier so everyone knows you're serious. Now I will be telling you what pads of mine are dirty and how dirty they are. So first we got the Heian Mid, then the Heian Soft, then the 0X Soft, and then my GameSense Radar. Like I mentioned, some mousepads only have some stains, as you can see on my GameSense Radar, but other mousepads like my Zero, it doesn't really look dirty until you really get underneath the skin, I guess. You can test if your mousepad is dirty by literally dragging your fingernail across the pad surface, and then some white stuff should appear on the surface, and that's how you know it's dirty and probably needs a wash. Alright, once you got your pads, you just gotta take them to a nice safe workspace. Make sure no animals can like get to it. Make sure you store your pads where they cannot get dirty. You know, or somewhere where they won't fall into and get dirty, you know, like the toilet. And make sure you place them gently in the bathtub. Gently. Now most people will say you can't use warm water to wash your mousepad, but you can, and I believe it's also kind of better. Just make sure it's not hot, that's what's gonna cause a problem. You can test if the water is too hot by literally seeing if you burn yourself by holding your hand in it. Once the sink is full of water, just put the soap in it and, you know, scrub it off. You know, make sure to get some soap in the water so it's a bit murky, and some on your microcloth towel. Oh yeah, you're gonna want to use microcloth towels. I like to use one for soap and one for just washing with water. Keep that one somewhere safe for later. Now when you're washing your mousepad, make sure to never directly apply soap onto the surface itself, as it gets stuck underneath the weave and is harder to remove. This is less of a problem with the curd soap, but if you use hand soap, it's definitely going to be more of a problem. Now for some actual cleaning. I got my Zero and my Hien right here. Both of them are dirty to a different degree. One of them is very dirty and the other one's just regularly dirty. However, you can still use the same method for both mouse pads, the same approach, I guess, since we're just trying to really get rid of the dirt that's inside the pad after prolonged use. That's really what matters, I guess. As you just saw, make sure to get the pad a little bit soapy. Let some of that soapy goody water drop onto it. And then literally just start smearing it in. Start rubbing it, you know, circle motions. Not too hard, not too soft. Because if you go too hard, you might destroy the pad. If you go too soft, you might, you know, not get deep down beneath there enough. Needs to be a perfect balance.
Remember to wax on, wax off, Daniel-san. Hey.
Alright, so once you've been scrubbing your pad for like about 5 minutes, just let the soap really like get in there, like I don't know, for a minute or two. I'll go fucking jerk off or something, find something to entertain yourself with for a minute or two, and then come back and then we'll begin the washing off phase. So, the washing off phase, quite literally very straightforward. You wash off the soap. But some people still don't know how to do it, so I guess I'll have to explain it. You take the water, you know, you let the water rain all over your pad. You wash off all the mainstay soap, you know, the soap you can see with your eyes. And then you take your other microfiber cloth towel, and you start cleaning it, but this time without soap. You know, you want to get underneath the mouse pad, you know, try and rip out soap and dirt that's been left in there while you know, wash it off with water at the same time. Should be quite self-explanatory. Now you can kind of shake off all the excess water from your pad before you go to dry it properly, but make sure you never hang dry your pad. You don't want to do this because that's just going to stretch out the base and in the end ruin your pad. I'm not saying it's going to like instantly destroy your pad, I'm saying it will affect your pad if you keep doing it like this, and some pads are more affected than others. What I like to do is I like to take a towel and put it on the floor and put my mouse pad on top of that towel so that it dries out neatly, you know, air dry, you know. Do not use a blow dryer on this. Once the surface is dry enough, make sure to replace the towel and turn your mouse pad around so that the base can also air dry, because that also really retains a lot of water. Make sure to pat dry your pad so that you get all the excess water out. It just speeds up the drying process tremendously. Now my Hien Mid is a bit of a special case. You see, my Hien Mid isn't exactly my Hien Mid. It belongs to my girlfriend, and her gaming setup is in the living room, and for whatever reason, her parents cannot really appreciate the quality and craftsmanship of an artisan mousepad, so they decided to put their food on it, like their plates, their teacups, whatnot, every time they would come over. And she doesn't game all too much, and she isn't what I would call a sweaty gamer, so this did take a little bit more of extra attention because the pad itself wasn't dirty, it just had little stains all over it, but these were harder stains to get rid of. I did have to try and clean my mousepad several times because it was quite difficult to remove, and the way I got rid of it is by first focusing on these areas by really scrubbing them out a lot and just making the scrubbing process, the whole cleaning process last like longer. Just really wash your mousepad for 10 minutes straight before you go on to the rinsing and whatnot. But yeah, that's how I got rid of it. Now, if you don't exactly have like stains of death stuck to your mousepad and you have like quite a simple stain on, or like soda or whatever, you can easily remove this by taking a microfiber cloth towel, you know, make sure it's wet, you know, with the warm water, with a little bit of curd soap, not too much, you don't really need too much, and just lightly go over it, you know, it should come out within seconds. I don't exactly have footage of me cleaning it though, because I did forget to hit the record button when cleaning my GameSense radar, so yeah, this will have to do. The drying process does vary from mousepad to mousepad. Since I was using an artisan mousepad, it didn't really take too long for them to dry, But if you are using more of an OEM type brand mousepad, it could take up to 24 hours for it to fully dry and recover. And that's pretty much it, the secret to cleaning a mousepad. This is the way I usually do it, and it usually always works well on my mousepads, and I wouldn't say they feel like new once I'm done cleaning them, they just feel clean and ready to go, I guess. If you made it this far into the video, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I guess I'll see you next time with a proper review.